Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your kind attention please, before we start the auction this afternoon, I have a few announcements I would like to make. We are Christenson and Pittman Auctions, located right here in Stuart, Florida. My name is Derrick Christenson. Your auctioneer today will be Drew Pittman. Once we start the auction and you wish to bid, please direct your attention to Rob Missimer, over there, Drew, or myself. Your bid is important to us, so we will go slowly. We do not want to miss your bid. Christenson Pittman Auctions has been contracted to offer for sale this office condominium with the address of 2602 Southeast Willoughby Boulevard, Stuart, Florida. All information was obtained from sources believed to be correct, but is not guaranteed. No liability for its accuracy, errors, or omissions is assumed by the owner, auction company, or auctioneers. All the terms of the sale, size, location, taxes, assessments, association fees, down payment, earnest money requirements, possession, buyer's premium have been made available to you to review and accept. All of this information is at the checking table right here. At the conclusion of this auction, the winning bidder or bidders will be required to sign a standard commercial bar purchase agreement and deposit the amount of 10% of the final sales price. The closing will occur on or before December 11th, 2009. The winning bidder will also be required to pay a 10% buyer's premium. The winning bidder will also be required to pay all closing costs associated with the property. The taxes and association dues associated with the property will be prorated to the date of closing. You will be given clear and marketable title at time of closing. The contract is and will be contingent upon lender confirmations. Property sold is where is, and there is no warranty express or implied. So without further ado, I pass the mic to my partner and your auctioneer today, Drew Pittman.
All right, well, we'll do without the mic today. First of all, happy Veterans Day today to everybody. If you're a vet or know anyone in your family or active duty. Also want to thank our brokers that make these auctions work so well by bringing their clients. Today, you will be bidding on 2602 Southeast Willoughby Boulevard. It's for the real estate only. We're not going to sell any of the divorce counseling books. If you want them, you'll have to contact someone later. Does anyone have any questions on what we're going to be doing here? Does anyone have any questions? Yes?
This is, from what I understand, Drew, not an absolute auction, which is what I'm more familiar with. How will we know, how will the bidders know when the reserve has been met?
When the reserve has been met, we will announce it. We'll let you know. We'll let you know.
During the bidding?
The reserve is, there is a reserve on this property. It is contingent on final lender approval, but the reserve is very low. So without that, does anyone have any other questions? All right, well, we're going to start the bidding now. All right, what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? What do you go 150,000 on it? Who said 100,000? How about 100,000? What do you bet 100,000? How about 75? Anyone go 75,000 on it? How about 50? Would you go 50? Anyone $50,000? 50,000? 25,000. Anyone bid 25,000? Thank you. 25. Now 50. 50,000. Would you bid 50? I'm bid 25,000. Would you bid 20? 50? I'm sorry. I'm bid 25. Would you bid 50? I'm bid 25,000. Would you bid 50,000? How about 30,000? We'll go that way. We'll go the hard way. We'll go up by 5. 30,000 on it. I'm at 25. Thank you, sir, in the back. I'm at 30. Now 5. I'm at 30. Now 5. I'm at 30. Now 5. 35,000. Would you bid 35,000? Thank you. Now 40. I'm at 35. Would you bid 40? 35, 40. 35. Would you bid 40? 40, 40. Would you bid 40? 40, 40. I'm at 35. Would you bid 40? I'm at, thank you, sir, 40. 40. Now 45. Would you bid 45,000? I'm at, is that a, just fixing your hair, that's cool. I'm at 40,000. That could have cost you a lot of money. I'm at 40,000. Would you bid 45? I'm at 40. Now 5. Now 5. Would you bid 5? 5. 5. Would you bid 5? I'm at, thank you. Now 50. Now 50. I'm at 45. Would you bid 50? I'm bid 45. Would you bid 50? I'm at 45. Would you bid 50? 50. Would you bid 50? 50,000 on it. Thank you. Now 55. Would you bid 55? I'm bid 50. Now 5. Now 55. I'm at 50. Now 55. Would you bid 55? Thank you. Now 60. I'm at 55. Would you bid 60? I'm at 55. Would you bid 60,000 on it? I'm at 55,000. Would you bid 60,000? I'm at 50. Where am I? I'm at 55,000. I'm at 55,000. Would you bid 60,000? I'm at 55. Would you bid 60? 60. Would you bid 60? 60. Thank you. Now 5. Now 65. Would you bid 65? I'm at 60,000. Would you bid 65? I'm at. Folks, we've hit our reserve. I'm at 60,000. Would you bid 65? 65. Now 70. Now 70. I'm at 65. Would you go 70? 65. 70,000. 65 would have been 70, 70 would have been 70, would have been 70, would have been 70, would have been 70, 65 would have been 70. 65 would have been 70,000. On bid 65,000. I need an advance of $5,000 to take it to $70,000. I'm at 65 going once. I'm at 65,000 going twice. Final. Now we're at 70,000. Thank you, sir. 70,000. I'm at 70,000. I'm losing my mind today, guys.
We're at 70, looking for 75.
Woo, I'm gonna fall. We're looking for 75. I'm bid 70. Would you go 75? I'm bid 70. Would you go 75? 75, 5, would you bid 75? I'm at 70. Would you bid 75? 5, 75. I'm at 70,000. Would you get 75? $75,000 bid. I'm bid 70. Would you go 75? Believe it would. I'm at 70. Would you go 75? Going once. 70,000. Looking for 75. Thank you, sir. Now 80. I'm at 75. Would you bid 80? Bid 80. Bid 80. 80,000. Would you bid 80? Would you bid 80,000? I'm bid 75. Would you bid 80,000 on them? $80,000. I'm bid 75. Would you go 80? Would you bid 80? I'm bid 75. Would you go 80? I'm bid 75. Would you go 80,000? Going once. I'm bid 75. Would you go 80? Going twice. I'm bid 75. Who wants to advance $5,000 to 80? We're at 75. Would you bid to $80,000? All right, let's go the other way. Would you go 76,000 on it? I'm bid 75. Would you go 76,000? Going once. I'm bid 75. Would you go 76,000? Going twice. Last call. Final and last call. I'm bid at $75,000. Would anyone like to advance it by $1,000? I'm bid 75,000. Would anyone like to advance by $1,000? Last and final call. And I sold it. $75,000. Congratulations. Contingent on final lender approval, but we did hit the reserve. Everybody give him a round of applause. That's how we do it. That quick. Done. Sold. Congratulations.